Some decisions are easy, like playing your favorite song. Other decisions are hard, like choosing the right credit card. But that's mostly because the financial system is complicated. There's so many offers, rates, and products, but which one's best for you? That's why we reinvented Credit Karma to do the hard work for you. We scan for the latest offers from our trusted partners to help you find the best financial hits for your unique situation. That way you can spend less time saying, huh, and more time doing, well, anything. Download Intuit Credit Karma today and get everything you need to outsmart the system.
This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Well, breaking news from parents. Rafael Nadal has stolen the Olympic torch, and nobody knows where he's going with it.
The accomplice is Serena Williams.
Carl Lewis is on that boat as well. So you have a Spaniard, you have two Americans on this boat, on a boat with the Olympic torch. After it arrived to the Eiffel Tower, Nadal takes it to a boat, and now they're riding off, and nobody knows where they're going.
That's funny.
Paris is playing by their own rules when it comes to the Olympics. We're all just kind of standing by and waiting to see where this torch is going to light the official cauldron, because the opening ceremonies typically takes place in a stadium.
Correct.
The opening and closing ceremony will take place in a stadium. France isn't doing that. It's been on the Seine, whatever it's called, Seine River.
Seine River.
That was really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was long, but it was a lot of fun. But now the sun is set in Paris, and here comes the boat towards the NBC crew. That boat is all lit up with Christmas lights, and that's where we're at with the opening ceremony. I thought they were just going to have the whole thing at the Eiffel Tower, but no, the Eiffel Tower is not the culmination of the opening ceremony. So
that would be one whale of a place to put the cauldron.
NBC the last 10 minutes has been like, well, we don't know where this thing is going. So no cauldron here. Welcome to the game. Mitch Fortner and Troy Coverdale, us two, taking it to 6 o'clock. Royals baseball tonight, 7:10 first pitch, pregame 6:30. Royals and Cubs from Kauffman Stadium here on News Radio KMAN. Coming up at 4:30, so about a little over 20 minutes from now, we'll be joined by K-State men's basketball assistant coach and chief of staff, Marco Borne. We're going to talk non-conference schedule as K-State men's basketball released that earlier today. Also talk Cats in this upcoming season, what they've been up to, obviously, for this summer with the recruiting, and we'll talk to Coach Borne here in a few moments. Blindly Ranked 5, we finish off my Top 100 TV theme songs countdown. My Top 100, we finish it today at 5:40 with 5 through 1. I would imagine it's predictable. If you've been following along, it's pretty predictable on what the last 5 will be. But in what order? And what will be number 1 on that list? We'll get Troy's official prediction in hour number 2. As we still wait to see where this Olympic torch is going.
Gave NBC time to run an ad.
Well, and this is also, not just an ad. They're running a progressive ad right now, and it's been about a 2-minute commercial. So, it's the first Olympic opening ceremony, the Olympic torch. The Eiffel Tower has an insane light show going on, and you got the progressive guy training people how to not be like their parents.
Even worse, that guy's a Jayhawk.
Oh, is he really?
Yes, he is.
God, all these celebrities that are Jayhawks. It seems like KU has like the biggest celebrity fan base out there. I had no idea, though.
Right.
About that. That is a pretty insane light show, though, at the Eiffel Tower. And right before the show, CBS News was talking about a lot of people at the ceremony very frustrated trying to get in, and apparently to try to funnel all these people, and it was taking a load of time. I was hearing about that. Like, some took about 3 hours to funnel their way in, and I can understand the frustration. But this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle for a lot of people, so it's going to draw a crowd. Also, Paris is beautiful. If you've been watching that opening ceremony, you get a picture of the landscape and the architecture and the history. That's a beautiful place. I've never been to Europe. It's on the list, though. And we're in a car commercial, so we're still waiting. Meanwhile, there was one moment in today's opening ceremony that absolutely stole the show, which people respond by saying, God, that was weird. I don't get culture. That was weird. If you missed it, man, what a performance.
Marie Antonietta. Les aristocrates, on les pendra. Stella Consergerie for Residencia. Presión de María Antonietta. Escuchamos.
That's the Paris broadcast, but that's Gojira performing after a little speech there from a headless Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette was unjustly executed back in the late 1700s.
Unjustly?
Is that a word?
It is a word, but unjustly would be questionable, given that she was the queen ahead of the French Revolution.
But that's just what I read.
Unjustly.
That's just what I read.
The woman said, let them eat cake.
A lot of people also feel like for what she did, she definitely did not deserve to be executed. So
okay.
That's what I'm going with. Hey, it was her attorneys that said they were not expecting execution at all, so.
Oh, boy.
This was awesome. And also, they had like some Assassin's Creed guy that was carrying the torch for hours, jumping around from building to building. Lady Gaga performed, but the flames and stuff, the heavy metal. Who knew Gojira? That was the band, by the way, the heavy metal band from France that performed early during the opening ceremony.
We're back to running.
And we're back to running. Now we got some person running up some stairs. You know, it's not an Olympic torch ceremony without somebody running up some stairs. Like on a slow pace, there's the wave, torch goes up in the air. Yeah, we're back to tradition now with the Olympic torch. But again, there's a whole bunch of people lined up, but they've been saying for hours, like they don't know where the torch is going. They don't know where the final, like where the finish line is for the torch.
They've actually kept it as a secret. That is amazing.
And I missed the Snoop Dogg part.
Oh, yeah, that took place way earlier this morning.
Okay. Was it for very long? Like I don't see Snoop as a guy that runs a whole lot.
You know, I'm not sure how long it was. I just know that there's a good bit of footage of him carrying it and a lot of people making jokes.
And I don't know. It's a female that's right now jogging with the torch. I don't know who it is, but typically the tradition is, and I've already mentioned that Paris and France is kind of doing this by their own rules. Once the torch arrives in the specific country, it is people from that country then that are carrying the torch only. Well, Rafael Nadal just had that torch moments ago, and he's from Spain.
Well, in this case, she is a French Olympian. That's all I've been able to capture.
All right, now they're at a very old courtyard. Here comes another handoff. Oh, we get a hug first before the handoff. Is that Tony Parker?
That is Tony Parker.
Tony Parker is going to light the cauldron? Okay. Interesting. The former San Antonio Spur that cheated on Eva Longoria.
Dude, how do you... Never mind.
What, am I wrong on that too?
No, you're not wrong on that. I'm saying how do you cheat on Eva Longoria? I mean, how... Yeah.
This is the slowest jog I've ever seen.
Yeah, that fits for Tony's game.
Hey now. Is that me? Is that me? Is that you?
Nope, that's me.
Oh my
Sorry.
goodness. By the way, it's also been pouring the whole time. It's been raining the entire time. And going back to so they're going by the Louvre.
Uh-huh.
Are they heading to Notre Dame? Notre Dame?
Now see that guys, don't light the roof on fire. Come on.
That's what I was just saying. I was like, I think they're in the neighborhood. That thing was on fire 5 years ago.
All right. Well, the good thing here is Tony Parker is not the one that will be lighting it. He's handed it off.
Okay, it's more people. I'm not sure who they are.
Right.
Actually, is that Ronaldo? Again, more slow jogging taking place. I love this. I've never done play-by-play of an opening ceremony of the Olympics. Again, it's just this built anticipation on where this Olympic torch is going. I want to know where it's going so we can get these Olympics officially underway. But what I was mentioning earlier, the guy that was running around with the torch looking like Assassin's Creed, the character from Assassin's Creed with the hood and stuff, and he didn't assassinate anybody, but he was jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and he was doing it live on TV, not like rooftop, but he's running on roofs there on the route, and he never slipped. He was on a stage at one point. It was pouring rain, never slipped. So I gotta tip my cap to that balance, athleticism, to pull all that off. This has been a pretty fun opening ceremony, but again, they are really dragging on.
Well, when it's supposed to be 4 hours.
They told me 3.5, and now we're at 3 hours and 47 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Good grief.
They're about to hand it off to the bass player of Gojira, then to the drummer, and then guitarist.
Right.
They've already had enough to do with flames today. That was a lot of the performance. I don't know Paris enough to tell you exactly where they're at, but they're like in that circle with that famous arch or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're going. But again, it's more this slow jog. I haven't welcomed us to the show yet. I feel like this is kind of dragging on. Not great radio, but I'm just dying to know. This is really where my head is at. I want to know where this thing's. Now we have another handoff. We are having our 7th handoff in 7 minutes. Excuse me, that is not Ronaldo. He looked like him, but this guy has...
oh, yeah. One of the Paralympians.
Yeah, Paralympians. There you go. But he's tall and looks a lot like him.
Guys, I can jog faster than this.
There's also nobody around. There's no crowd.
Right. Mm-hmm. Given what occurred this morning in terms of the disruption regarding the high-speed rail system throughout the country, probably a wise idea that nobody's around.
Did you see the clip this morning going around? It was from the 92 Olympics. And the way they lit the cauldron in the arena, I don't know, the stadium, wherever it was in 92, I don't remember. But it was in Archer.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I remember watching that night.
Old school medieval archers, shoot up in the air, arching arrow comes down, kills an enemy with insane accuracy. A lot of geometry involved.
Yep.
You want to talk about, archers don't necessarily get a lot of publicity, a lot of eyeballs on their matches or whatever you want to call them, their competitions. He's in front of a full stadium on national television. I said world television. Everybody around the world is watching the opening ceremony, and he perfectly delivers from the ground to the cauldron, arching shot with an arrow, perfectly placed.
Yep.
And he lights the official Olympic cauldron. That's that has to be talked about more as one of the most badass moments in sports. That's more pressure than icing a kicker, and it's a big game. Now we have another handoff, and we're walking. And I have no idea.
We're walking here.
I have no idea where they're at. Another handoff. This gal looks like Laura Kelly. And another handoff. We got about 10, 11 people now walking the torch. I don't know if we're going to have to take a break before we get this thing lit.
Right.
We got Marco Borne coming up at 4:30. So we're going to have to take a break here soon. I mean, I guess it's cool. Some of these people are getting to carry the torch about 6 steps before another handoff.
This is a number of athletes from the current Olympic team or previous Olympians for France.
Yeah, this is a whole pomp and circumstance.
Yep.
If I had the TV turned up, there's probably some great music behind it and major ceremony. What in the world?
You just saw the balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? It looks like a hot air balloon, but it also looks like a Zeppelin.
We're working on Around the World in 80 days here.
Yeah, this is taking 80 days to get this thing lit. And now an elderly gentleman in a wheelchair has now taken the torch. He is sitting in a wheelchair, and we are in a holding pattern. Oh, now he's going to light 2 torches in the pouring rain.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
The oldest living Olympic champion.
Now they're going to... Okay, so...
he's 100.
Oh, do you have some sound on in there?
No, I've got the closed captioning going.
Oh, okay. So we have now 2 former or maybe current Olympians. They're now walking up a runway. And there is like this... It looks like a giant hot air balloon that's hanging over this body of water.
Man, I hope if that is...
I don't know what's going on.
If that is a Zeppelin, I hope they didn't use helium.
This is really dragged on. They've been...
Yes.
This is now going on 30 minutes.
Yep.
But hey, it's the Olympics. It's a big deal. Torches in the air. Everybody... Well, nobody's cheering because nobody's around. It's a pretty private ceremony, other than watching it on TV.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've got to have some major video boards going.
Oh, I see what it is. So the cauldron is in this... It's in the middle of this body of water. There's a balloon that's I think they're going to light this thing that's going to release the balloon. Okay, this thing's lit. Huh. Okay, now this looks like an inferno.
Right.
But I think it's going to release this balloon? Is this what's going to happen?
I don't know.
This is so odd.
No,
I'm waiting for something really cool to happen, but...
Doesn't look like it.
Huh. I mean, they're going to get great now.
No.
That cauldron is being lifted in the air by this balloon.
No. No, I think that's stationary.
I think it's leaving. It's getting out of here.
Well, there is some space finally.
It is. That is now 50 feet in the air. And it's going somewhere. So the drama continues. I don't know where this cauldron is going, but a balloon that is gigantic has now lifted the Olympic flame over Paris. We got to take a break.
Good Lord.
Paris playing by its own rules here at the Olympics. When we come back, we talk non-con, we talk men's basketball with K-State assistant coach and chief of staff Marco Borne when we return on The Game. All right, well, outside of the Olympics, there is some actual, somewhat breaking news. We didn't know this was pretty much coming. Formal settlement documents were filed with the Northern District Court of California today. This was made official, announced just a few minutes ago. This is to advance the settlement approval process to resolve class action lawsuits involving the NCAA with the Big 12, Big 10, ACC, Pac-12, SEC. As this addresses 3 cases, the most known that we've talked about, the House versus NCAA, Hubbard versus NCAA, and Carter versus NCAA, involving back damages and further benefits for Division I student athletes. The Big 12 just moments ago making a statement saying, quote, "This is another important step in the ongoing effort to provide increased benefits to student athletes while creating a stable and sustainable model for the future of college sports. While there is still much work to be done in the settlement approval process, this is a significant step toward establishing clarity for the future of all Division I athletes while maintaining a lasting education-based model for college sports, ensuring the opportunity for student athletes to earn a degree and a tool necessary for a successful in life after sports." Also earlier today, K-State men's basketball has announced its non-con schedule for the upcoming season. Starts October 29th, exhibition against Fort Hays State. Home games against New Orleans, Cleveland State, LSU, Mississippi State, the Paradise Jam, starting on November 22nd. They'll play 3 games there. And then 4 more games to wrap up the non-con. Arkansas Pine Bluff, at St. John's, Drake in Kansas City, and at Wichita State. And to talk more about this, we're joined by assistant coach and chief of staff of K-State men's basketball. Marco Borne now joins us here on the game. Coach, really appreciate your time. First of all, like us, have you been taking in the Olympic opening ceremonies this afternoon?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for having me. Love your show. Love everything you do in support of the Big 12 and K-State.
Well, it's certainly our pleasure. When you watch the Olympics or anything international with basketball, do you ever take anything from that, like a rule or anything that you would love to see in college basketball?
I think the direction that men's basketball is headed and in is in a great spot. I think internationally, one of the things I think everybody would agree on, kind of following the girls' format where we can move the ball at the end of the games and make it more exciting for the fans. That'd probably be one of the things. The goaltending rule, I think, is hit or miss. We have so many athletes, and it could make it so much tough for the refs. It's kind of exciting if you're a defensive guy, if you're an offensive guy. I think you prefer for it to stay the same. So I would probably say the timeout situation, moving, the pro and the women's direction would probably be one of the things that everybody would love to see implemented on the men's side.
Well, Coach, with the non-con schedule out, that means 16 home games for this upcoming season. And with this non-con schedule and the way you guys had to attack it, how did the strategy change with now the conference schedule moving to 2 extra games and it's now at 20?
Yeah, adding the teams, we've done a great job of adding, some elite programs to the 12, and it took away a couple of non-con games. We had contracted to where we were supposed to have Cal this year. We had to move that game to next year to help fit us and Cal as they moved into to the ACC. So we moved forward. Excited about the non-con, excited about the games that we have. We think we're looking at 6, maybe 7 quad 1, quad 2 games. We think we have a variety of styles and different coaching philosophies that's going to help prepare us to make a run at the 12 when the time comes.
Now, when you're scheduling somebody and you're chatting with a program, kind of take us behind the curtain, like a Cleveland State. How do you organize a home game with a team like that, and that helps obviously set up the non-conference schedule as a whole?
Well, when you talk about Cleveland State, they're coming off a 21 season. Coach Robinson has done a great job with his style, done a great job of preparing his guys. His style, a lot of pressure to get out guard. They execute and they run some good offensive sets. So when the opportunity presents itself, we kind of just crossed paths, started talking about it a little bit a couple of years ago, and the dates fit to what we needed. We were looking for a Saturday game. It's the same Saturday our football team is off. They have a bye. So, just kind of fit their schedule and fit our schedule. And I know with our fans, we want to make sure we didn't interfere with football. And that's how that came about.
We're speaking with Marco Borne. He's an assistant coach for K-State men's basketball and the chief of staff. Now, also in non-con, one of the bigger games of non-conference play is the Big East Big 12 series, and your team will be heading out to play St. John in New York City. Do we know yet, is that game going to be in Madison Square Garden or will be on St. John's campus?
That's something that with St. John's being the host team, and the Big East being the host, that's something that they're working on. The hope is that we could go back to Madison Square Garden, but we know that just the opportunity to play a Hall of Fame coach in Rick Pitino, and their style and the things that he brings and the way his team is going to play hard, they're going to compete. We know the atmosphere on campus is great. Last time we went to the Garden, we had a great turnout. We're excited to be able to go back to New York for our fans. We know we have a lot of fans in that area. Hopefully it's in the Garden, but if it's not in the Garden, we're going to embrace being on St. John's campus. But that the final decision would be up to St. John's and their conference.
What was the coaching staff's reaction to the announcement from the Big 12 about the teams you will play, home and away, home only, and away only? Were you guys pretty satisfied about the balance that the conference has scheduled for your team this year?
Well, one thing we knew when we signed up, it's a saying that we have, you say you wanted to be one. We knew signing up and coming to K-State and being part of the 12 is, every night it's going to be a quad one game. Every night it's going to be, an opponent. You're probably going to be coaching against a future Hall of Fame coach who is not already a Hall of Fame coach. So, there's no off nights. This is not a conference where, we hope we could get this team because this team is easier than the next team. So, at the end of the day, you can't dodge anybody, you can't miss on anybody. So, we know what we signed up for, so we know every game is going to be a dogfight. And, it's a round robin right now. And with the numbers it sounds like we're going to keep on adding, it's not going to get any easier. So we just embrace what was ahead of us, and we're prepared to put on a good show for our fans and the K-State family. And, at the end of the day, we hope to walk away on top.
Yeah, I was excited to watch you guys do the recruiting process, get guys in, and watch that all unfold. And you get this year's class and team done 2 months prior than the previous couple of years. So that's also some solid news as well. You guys haven't obviously officially started practice, but what have you learned about this new group of guys so far?
Well, it felt good to have everybody on campus early. For the most part, the whole team has been in place for the whole month of July. They've been able to spend some time together, spend some time with the staff. One thing that Coach prides himself on and with the staff is making sure that we get the right guys. Guys that fit. Some guys have come on visits, and we realize on a visit that they may not fit the direction we want. So being able to get the right type of guys in the system was important. We were able to accomplish that early. We know we have some competitors. We know we have some guys that's going to compete. It's just a matter of them blending and coming together and, coaching them up and like I said, having the best season that we can put together.
I couldn't stop talking about, Coach, the amount of three-point shooters you guys were able to sign. You bring in 6 that all shot over 36.5% last year. That's an incredible number of three-point snipers that you could potentially have game in and game out. Was that the strategy day one heading into this transfer portal and starting to recruit out of the portal that, hey, we need to go get a bunch of three-point shooters?
Again, we sit down and we reevaluated with ourselves in the mirror. What were some of the needs and some of the things that we wanted to replace or to add from the previous couple of seasons, and we thought one thing was, getting some people where we could stretch the floor, add some space into the offense, and shooting was definitely one of the things that we wanted to add. We think we did a good job of getting quality guys that can not only shoot the ball, their numbers say they can shoot the ball, but they're also high IQ guys that can handle the ball, make good decisions with the ball, and put the ball in the right people's hands.
When you watch Brendan Hausen shoot around, does he miss much?
I'll say this: people are definitely running to the rebound for him. He has a lot of. When it's time for him we have a 10-minute shooting drill that all the guys go through after practice, and they fight the rebound for Brendan. I can tell you that.
Is there anybody else? Go ahead. Is there anybody else that has really stood out to you just early on with their play?
Well, like I said, right now, I think all the guys, just the energy, the positive vibes, the way that they compete and the way they're attacking the weight room, the way they're attacking the things, and the being coachable. Very excited about this group, very happy about this group. I don't think there's anybody in particular, but the guys, there's no egos. There's nobody coming in saying me. Everybody from the time they've gotten here, it's almost like a bunch of brothers out there competing, getting after it, like you and your brother would, and then afterwards hanging out, having a good time. You can hear the conversations, they playing the college football game together. They're, hanging out together. They going to movies together. So, it's been a very positive and happy environment and a very competitive environment when doing workouts.
Well, Coach, we can wrap up on this. I saw your tweet probably a couple of weeks ago, and you just mentioned how excited you are to be back in front of the fans in Bramlage Coliseum, and I think the clip was a sandstorm from last season. And I had this thought when it evolved a couple of years ago with the lights being dimmed and people putting the flashlight on their phones, turning it on, and it just took the environment to another level. When you have those timeouts and the place is going nuts, is it a little difficult to do your job and keep the focus on the timeout? You want to sneak a peek at the crowd when this is all going on?
Well, the lights are taken to the new level. I think that you have to give credit to Coach Ream. He does a great job of making sure our guys have the greatest experience possible. And I don't know where he came up with that idea, but he brought it to the table and give credit to the K-State, to the staff for listening to Coach and taking his suggestion and, putting it in. But, the guys love it, the fans love it, recruits love it. And that when the lights go out, it is a time where, and I remember the first time we did it, coaches actually, took a second to embrace it and listen to the support and take a feel, because sometimes you can take it so much business and you forget the fun part of it and you take the joy away from it. And one thing we always preach to our guys is love, joy, and freedom. And we want them to enjoy the experience as much as just not enjoying wins and everything's about winning and losing. So it's a great thing that we've added. Excited about it happening again this year, and excited to see what Coach Ream is going to do next to top that. But the light situation, I think you give Coach Ream a lot of credit for that. And, like I said, just excited. Our fans are tremendous, and when like I always say, when they get to doom it, man, that building is tough, and you talk to coaches on the road, and they always talk about how it's so hard to play when they come to Manhattan and our fans, and the way they embrace the team and the way that they genuinely, the passion and the love is not fake about it, and they can feel it, and it affects that team, and we look forward. We obviously, it's like a 10-point advantage when we're at home, so we're excited about it.
I'm sure it'll be a short 3 months before K-State basketball rolls around. It's going to be a very special season for K-State athletics. Men's basketball is a huge part of that. Congratulations on your success, Coach. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate having me, man. Go Cat.
All right, Marco Borne is our guest. He's an assistant coach, chief of staff for K-State men's basketball. We'll react more at 5:10 on the K-State non-conference schedule. When we come back, like I've said, this is our last day for the TV-themed countdown. At 5:40, it's 5 through 1. The final honorable mentions, we'll break some of those down, including the two that I think will be the most controversial, is up next on the game. All right, wrapping up hour one of the game. 5:10 more reaction to K-State men's basketball non-conference. That was announced today. Play a little blindly ranked 5 with the Olympics. We wrap up the hour heading out to St. Joe, Missouri. Chiefs training camp.
State of misery.
A couple of things from Patrick Mahomes. I didn't know that the Raiders had a Kermit the Frog.
Yes.
Out at
fan
training camp?
Yeah, a fan brought that. Dressed it up in a...
Oh, a fan brought it.
Yeah, a fan brought it, and one of the rookies was having fun with that.
Oh, I mean, that rookie's an idiot.
Yeah, essentially.
Do you know who it is?
Yeah, give me a moment.
While you're doing that, Mahomes was talking also a little bit about playing college football 25. Apparently he's got a big game against the Cats tonight.
We did win the national championship in year one. I'm in year two now. I chose 4-star because I had to be realistic. I couldn't go a 5-star, and it took me a while to become the starter, but we got a nice bowl win against Florida, and now we're in our second season. We actually have a big game against Kansas State tonight. I don't know if Felix knows. I got a big game against Kansas State on my road to glory. Sorry in advance.
He already knows Kansas State, how many times we beat Texas Tech, so he knows that it's going to be a big pressure. So we already talked about that. He already knows it.
100%. Patrick Mahomes is aware of the K-State history with Texas Tech. Kind of makes me a little sad. Tech is not on the schedule this year.
Good for Felix voicing the truth.
Well, that's probably what got him to the microphone.
By the way,
honestly,
rookie safety Trey Taylor is the Raider who was seen playing with the doll.
Trey Taylor. I'm trying to think of where I don't have it. I don't know. Air Force. No, I wouldn't have guessed Air Force. So I had my mind somewhere way different than Air Force. Boy, seems like a real Navy thing to say, am I right? Or do? Not Air Force. Okay. I also went 4-star on my road to glory. I had to earn my spot as a starting running back for Washington.
Oh.
And got 500 yards, was all Big Ten freshman team, and then I transferred to NC State, and I became a first-team All-American. And I'm right now in the process of, NC State wasn't coughing up the NIL money.
Oh, boy.
So I'm in the portal, and I'm looking for that next home. So,
well, of course NC State wasn't coughing up the NIL money. They're the ACC. They're not the Big Ten. Come on.
Yeah, things are a little poor over there at in ACC land with that very long media rights deal.
Oh, boy.
Getting out of that drama. Hey, hour number 2, Cats basketball non-conference slate. The goods and the bads. Widely ranked 5, Olympics edition. We finish off my top 100 TV theme songs list, 5 through 1. I'm going to post that thing and let everybody complain about it. Ask us anything. It's all coming up. We finish up the week of the game. Up next, News Radio KMAN.
What? You want more? You got more. More of the game coming up next on News Radio KMAN, Manhattan.